Can a short seller cover shorts in the dark pool without affecting price action? This is a question that has large misconceptions and very large speculation regarding it, and in today's video I asked ChatGPT if shorts can cover in the dark pool, and the only reason I did that is because of the elephant in the room, the failure to delivers on AMC, as well as the short interest drop, which we're going to talk about, and then we have some additional stuff to talk about like usual. I give you the meat and then the potatoes and then some vegetables to close out the video, but remember, those vegetables will help you grow. Overall, guys, please hit the like button on this video. Hopefully you enjoy watching and find value out of the video. Also hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. So ChatGPT answers that short sellers can cover their position in the dark pool, but whether or not it affects price action depends on several factors, including the size of the position, overall market conditions, and the specifics of the dark pool transaction. Now, when a short seller covers their position in dark pool, the trade is executed privately and does not contribute to the volume or price action on the public exchange. However, there are some nuances to consider. Now, before we get into the 4 nuances to consider, I want to point out something. As ChatGPT says something different than somebody on Reddit, this Reddit post says that no, hedge funds cannot cover shorts in dark pool because the seller/loaner dictates the medium of the exchange. Basically, to explain, he's saying that the loaner of the shares, aka retail investors from the institution borrowing them to go short, right? Retail investors loaning out your shares, dictate the medium of the exchange. For example, if I wanted to loan out my shares and I held shares on Webull, the exchange would be on Webull. And yes, while this could be the case, Webull has a contract for payment for order flow with Citadel, who we assume is short. Let's assume Citadel is the borrower of these shares and I wanted to loan them out on Webull. This can easily be routed to dark pools because most brokers don't use lit exchanges. However, the only way that this could be possible where they couldn't cover in dark pools is if everybody transferred their shares to a lit exchange and then recalled their shares. This is just my theory, but let's keep doing a deep dive. Are you guys still with me? Hey, wake up, wake up. So number 1, the trade size. If the short position is significant and the covering trade is substantial, it may still have an impact on the stock's price. Even if executed in dark pool, large trades can move the market regardless of where they occur, of course. Market conditions. In highly volatile markets or where there is significant news about the stock in question, any large trade, whether in dark pool or on a public exchange, can have a notable impact. And then you have timing and regulatory rules. Dark pool trades are typically executed at the prevailing market price, but there can be small delays in the execution process. If the market price changes significantly during the delay, it may affect the overall cost of the trade. Dark pool regulations may vary by region, and there may be restrictions on how certain trades are executed in dark pools. These regulations aim to maintain fairness and market stability. So, in summary, ChatGPT says while dark pools are designed to provide privacy and reduce the impact of large trades on public markets, they may not always entirely shield the market from the effects of a significant short covering. Various factors, including trade size, market conditions, and can influence whether the short covering in a dark pool affects the price action. You guys hear what it's saying? Because I want to bring up the point that it's talking about. If this was the case, right? If this was the case and short sellers could just cover like that in dark pool all the time, why would you have seen Volkswagen, the nastiest, dirtiest short squeeze of all time, squeeze how it did? GameStop squeeze how it did, the buy button be taken away how it was taken away? Why would you see Mullen rip 2, 3, 4, 500%? Why would you see anything? Why would you see anything ever squeeze? Right? If they can just prevent this, why would you see anything ever squeeze? Well, obviously, the flip side is maybe the institutions are trying to pump and dump to make money off of a squeeze because they know retail is going to dump their money in. But in instances like AMC and GameStop, it is way too risky for that. Now, the elephant in the room connected to this fails to deliver. There's barely any. Okay, we got the report for the second half of September. There's barely any. Fails to deliver. And people are talking about it, dropping it in my DMs. Lottery stocks, what do you think about the FTDs? Nothing even happened here. I think what's scary about this is you see the short interest sitting at 7.8%, which is a substantial drop over the past few months. Whether that has to do with the split or not, you're not seeing fails to deliver stack up. Now, on 8/23, the FTDs had the largest amount of FTDs, the 50 million that we've been talking about, and they have a T+35 settlement date. I find it interesting. Don't you notice that we have the data up to September 28th. Guess what the 29th would have been? Right on that line for the 35 closeout days. So whatever is not being reported right now, it may just be, this is a theory, it may just be a cycle reset. And you may see a lot of FTDs here that pop up for the first half of October, or you may see a large rip in the price. Just a theory. I'm just dropping it out there. Another thing I want you to note is don't pay attention to the short interest, because GameStop's was reported about 20 to 30% when it was actually over 130% when it ripped. So what's being reported doesn't really matter. I explained in a YouTube short where Ortex gets their data. If there's enough room in the video, I'll put it up here. If not, I'll link it in the comments. Take everything with a grain of salt. Now, AMC trading at $9.70. Down 1.62% on the day. Take a look at this. This is the January run-up we've been tracking. Rejected off of this trend line. Hammer candle. Ripped back through. AMC is playing very, very close to a T to how this traded. This is AMC right now. Touching this trend line. Got a nasty rejection. Came back down base. Got another hammer candle here. And we're just waiting for that move. I thought it was going to be today, but history often rhymes, but it doesn't exactly repeat or something like that, right? It's not exact, but it does play out very, very similarly. And we have this major point of interest starting October 24th through the upside, where I think AMC has a good chance at coming into very, very strong late October, early November. Worst case scenario, again, that 475 Citigroup price target. Now, AMC also had another order imbalance of 337,910 shares on the buy side, which means they couldn't match sellers to these buyers. There are a lot of buyers on AMC, and they are being routed and not affecting price action. 4 million shares available to borrow, according to Stock Tracker. The one thing that is positive is the options chain. We are killing it on the options chain. So as of right now, you are seeing more and more gamma build up towards the end of the week, which just brings in that bearish case scenario to really pay attention to, because market makers don't want this many calls expiring in the money. Also, short exempts have been extremely high, so they are not letting this thing go just yet. And I assume that will reflect the next FTDs that are being reported to us. GameStop trading at $13.92. Exactly what I've been saying. Came down, broke below. I said it's going to sell off again. It's going to sell off again. Guys, it's following AMC. It's coming down to that $13.35 level. Just be aware of that. GameStop, 2.3 million shares available to borrow. No calls to puts expiring in the money. We're losing on the options chain. You're getting a gamma ramp to the downside. And honestly, just very, very low volume. So now we have very, very low short exempts. Now, some additional stuff. Reverse repos about to fall under $1 trillion for the first time since 2021. So we are seeing a decrease in those. And the 10-year yield has just hit 4.9%, which is the highest since 2007. And finally, touching on the SPY to close out the video, 432.24, down 0.85% on the day. I believe Powell speaks at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we came up to the supply zone once again, got dumped off of it, got dumped a second time, forming a little bit of a double top here on the SPY, kind of an ugly one. If we base at 431.50, you may get a retest and break over that supply zone, but there is a gap fill at 438.80, so don't think we will break directly through that when we do get a push. Of course, depending on the catalyst going forward or what Powell says will affect the market. If it's negative, watch for a break under 430. If we break under 430, the SPY may test recent lows and potentially go lower to around 409 to 413. Overall, guys, before you click off the video, if you want up to 16 free stocks, each valued up to a couple grand per stock, all you have to do is use my link, sign up for Moomoo, and make a deposit of even a penny to start earning benefits from there. Plus, the more you deposit, the more benefits you get, like $400 cash sent to your account, which could be a decent amount of AMC shares. Not financial advice, and not a financial advisor. Also, it's just a good platform to use that gives you a ton of other benefits. That link is in the top of the description and pinned in the top of comments. Go sign up, make a deposit, and pop in the Discord. The link is right under the video, alongside the Moomoo link as well. If you don't usually join any Discords, join this one. It's the cheapest one. It's literally a coffee a month. Plus, you can talk with me on the daily if you want to. We post gains, post losses, and have options trading alerts in there. So go get in there, guys. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.